Shalom, 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 y'all. All right, so sorry about that. Okay, so I'm gonna go ahead and open in prayer. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam. We praise you, we worship you, and only you, Yahovah, Yahweh, El Shaddai, El Elyon. For you are our God. You are the everlasting King. I thank you for each and every one that will watch this video. And I just ask that you prepare the hearts, open the ears to hear your word. And may I only speak your word. May this not be about anyone but you. We praise you. We worship you. Amen. Okay, so for those that are new, I normally give or get 3 names of Yahweh. And yes, you will hear me say his name very different ways because I know what he has asked me to use, but everyone is on a different walk, and it is truly about a personal relationship. Just like, using the name Jesus Christ versus Yeshua, Yahushua, and many other ways to say it. So there is no judgment on my part. It is just the walk where you are at. But I do normally get 3 names, 3 of his names to share with you. I do talk about the Hebraic calendar. I talk about the Mazzaroth or the constellations, and Torah portions, living letters. There's a lot that's covered. So let's just get started. And welcome. Our first name comes from Psalms 4:1 that says, "Answer me when I call you, O God of righteousness. You have freed me when I was hemmed in and relieved me when I was in distress. Be gracious to me and hear and respond to my prayer." So it is God of my righteousness is how it's translated in English. In the Hebrew, it is Elohe Zidki. Elohe Zidki. It is spelled Aleph, Lamed, Hey, Yud, Zadi, Dalet, Kuf, Yud. The musical notes that go with these letters are C, G, G, E, F, F, G, E. The living letters reveal this to us about this particular name, Elohe Zidki, the mover of obstacles. By him, all things are held together, making us acceptable, and we are one with him. His resurrection made available the entrance and set us apart for the Father. That's pretty awesome. Okay. Our next name comes to us out of Proverbs 15, verse 6. And it says, in the house of the righteous, there is much treasure, but in the revenue of the wicked is trouble. The name is House of the Righteous. He is our house. The house of the righteous. And in the Hebrew, it is Bet Zadik. Bet Zadik. It is spelled Bet, Yud, Tav, Zadi, Dalet, Yud, Kaf. The musical notes that go with this are D, E, C, G, D, E, C, F, F, E, G. The living letters reveal this about Beit Zadik. And this is the house of YHVH, worship the Aleph and the Tav, which is the beginning and the end in English, will not be compromised. So let me start over. The house of YHVH, worship the Aleph and the Tav, will not be compromised. The only door to the Father, the Mashiach, raises us from the depths of bondage. Bet Zadik. Bet Zadik. Okay, our next name comes to us out of Psalms 36 and verse 6. And it says this: God, your righteousness is like the mountains. Your judgments are like the great deep. O Lord, you preserve man and beast. All right. This name is, in the Hebrew, is YHVH Zedikateka. YHVH Zedikateka. All right. It is spelled Yud, Hey, Vav, Hey, Zadi, Dalet, Kof, Tav, and Kaf, Sofit. And the musical notes that go with this name are E, G, A, G, F, F, G, C, F. The living letters reveal this: perfection sent to the earth to secure the revealers of truth, hungering for justice and judgment. The word of Yah, hand of the Creator on our head, blesses us. Made whole, we are inscribed in YHVH's palm. Oof. The name is YHVH Zedikateka. YHVH Zedikateka. All right, I don't know about you, but those names really speak to my spirit. All right, so the next part of this is the calendar, the Hebraic calendar. We started the new Hebraic month, the 11th month of Shabbat, this year on January 3rd. It normally falls in January, February of the Roman Greek calendar with 30 days. Now remember, the Hebraic months only have 29 or 30 days. It's not like the modern calendar that has 28, 29, 30, 31. It's set to 29 and 30. It runs by the moon. The new moon signifies the beginning of the Hebraic month. All right, so the alphabet that is considered connected to this month is Zadi. It symbolizes the righteous one, the one that will not be compromised. And it is the Mashiach. All right, so the appointed time is not a feast day, but an appointed time. So this month is called the month of the new year of trees. It is on the 15th of the 11th month every year, on the Hebraic month, right? The 15th of the 11th Hebraic month, or Shabbat, which falls on Monday, January 17th. This month is called the rainy season, so that the sap in the trees rises up, producing buds for the fruit to be given, a sweet fruit to be given. And we know that trees symbolize man in Scripture. So the question is, what trees in your field are ready to bear fruit? This day is known as Tu Bishvat, the new year of the trees. And this marks a season where the earliest blooming trees bud from their winter sleep in the Holy Land. And this is celebrated by eating fruit, especially those mentioned in the Torah in regards to the bounty of the Holy Land. That would be grapes, figs, pomegranates, olives, dates. Remember Deuteronomy 20:19. A man is a tree in the field. There's a special blessing that is prayed. I'm going to recite it. It is called the blessing on the fruit. And I'm going to say it in Hebrew, and then I'm going to tell you what it is in English. It is Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu, melech ha'olam, borei pri ha'aretz. Okay, it says, blessed are you, Lord our God, King of the universe, who creates the fruit of the trees. All right, so every Hebraic month, there is a tribe that is associated with the month. This month, it is the tribe of Asher. Asher was the 8th son of Yaakov and Zilpah, Leah's handmaiden. Asher means happy. In Moshe's, we're going to look at the blessings. In Moshe's blessing, being pleased, he says, being pleasing to his brothers and immersing in oil. So I kind of wondered, well, what is this all about? So, sometimes you have to dig deeper. And this comes from what the rabbis say. And, they kept their documentation. It says, because the women, and this is a quote, I'll mention where I quote here at the end because I can't remember right now. It says, because the women who came from Asher were beautiful, they were sought after for marriage. His daughters were married to high priests who were anointed with olive oil. That goes back to the blessing. They're pleasing to his brothers and immersing in oil, right? All right. So before Jacob passed on, he also blessed his 12 children individually, his sons, giving them prophetic words about the future of their tribal destiny. And remember last month, he actually says to his brothers to see Dan as a tribe because Dan loses his identity. So to Asher, he said, from Asher will come rich food, and he will provide royal delicacies. Okay, the Midrash uncovers another layer of the meaning behind this blessing. The Hebrew word used here for rich is shme'ina, rich. It's the same 4 Hebrew letters also spell out the word Shmoneh, Shmoneh, which means 8. Interesting, huh? It is the 8th son. All right. So Asher will raise children. So let's look at this. So Asher will raise children who will wear 8 garments. This is what the Midrash says. It says, namely, the 8 garments worn by the high priest. Eventually, Asher's grandchildren would become priests and high priest. Asher's daughters were apparently so beautiful that bachelors from all the tribes wanted to marry them. Because of the highest stature, high priest looked for a wife from the daughters of Asher. So let's look at beauty here. So here is a sort of beauty that runs skin deep. And there's a beauty that reflects spiritual maturity and personal dignity. When the Torah extols the beauty of a Jewish woman, and I say Jewish woman, but it really should say, that's what they wrote, but it really should say Hebrew woman, because Asher was not Jewish. The Jewish people come from the tribe of Judah. Eventually, I guess they became Jewish, right? But so it should read Hebrew women. So the Torah extols the beauty of a Hebrew woman. It is almost always speaking of her nobility and modesty. The entire glory of the daughter of the king is in her inwardness. This is what King David said regarding the modesty of the daughters of Israel. Okay, here he said they used daughters of Israel. Her discreet conduct glorifies her, giving her an aura of wealth that emanates from her modesty. Asher's daughters were renowned for being lovely and refined, which made them most appealing to the family of priests. These women would best understand and support the priest's work, since they mirrored the core nature of his responsibilities. That was taken from Chabad.org. I tell you, I get my information from a lot of different places. So I thought that was very interesting. To me, I mean, I am always searching for deeper kind of revelation. All right, so in this month, we know that it's the month for righteousness to be our foundation. And I had mentioned last week to read and meditate on Psalms 1 this month. So it's a reminder, read Psalms 1 this month. This is the month to shout, my blessings are on the way. That means revisit every promise, every dream, every word that you have ever received, and take it to the Lord and say, is this for me? Is this for me? Right? And if it is, I want it. I receive it. I say, let's go, right? Deuteronomy 1, Moshe is speaking to the Israelites and is reminding them that they lacked faith and they were punished. And so I do look up the scriptures that speak about the 11th month. And that's where this Deuteronomy 1 is coming from. Zechariah 1, it actually talks about a specific date, the 24th day of the 11th month. Go read the scripture. But it's about Yahweh has mercy and compassion on Jerusalem and Zion. And the angel of the Lord is with the horses of red, sorrel, and white. Yahweh Zedkenu is one of the expressions of this month. So let his righteousness be your foundation. All right. The month always has a color and a stone associated with it. And last time I spoke about the color of olive green. Today we're going to speak about a little bit about the citrine quartz. It's a stone. It's a precious stone. And we know who created everything. So don't get weird on me here. Just listen, take it back to the heart of the Father. The crystine crystals or stones are vital for creativity and manifestation. The spiritual meaning of citrine is its yellow hues, symbolizing the spiritual qualities of joy, positivity, and abundance. When I looked up the stone, the color range from a very beautiful light yellow to a darker, deeper, kind of like a brownish yellow. But it's all yellow, right? Citrine, I typically think of lemons being, the yellow fruit. So let's move on from there. I feel the Lord is sealing my lips at that point. So let's move on. The next thing we talk about is the Mazzaroth, the sign of Aquarius, the water bearer, the redeemed, the result of the Redeemer's suffering, their blessings ensured, or the living waters of blessings poured out forth for the redeemed. Now, remember, I have a couple of books that I actually study, and I do look up stuff on the internet as well. So this next constellation, last week I talked about Aquarius, and every Mazzaroth has other constellations within that Mazzaroth. So the next constellation we're going to speak about is Pegasus, the winged horse. The blessings coming quickly. That's what that means, Pegasus. So they'll be received, brought near, not fetched, but caused to come to those whom are procured. Yet will be brought by him who has procured them. All right. And this is out of the Witness of the Stars. That was a direct quote. In the Dendera of Zodiac, there are two characters immediately below the horse. And I don't know if I have a picture of this one today. And the characters are Pe and Ka. Now, I couldn't find anywhere that confirmed this, but this is what I felt my spirit was saying, that these were letters of the Hebrew letters of Pe and Kaf. But, written, all it says is Pe and Ka. So in Peka, put it together, right? Peka or Pega in the Hebrew is the chief. And Sus, as in Pegasus, right, is horse. So when you put it together, Pegasus or Pegasus, you are saying the chief and the horse, right? The chief of the horse, maybe. So Pegasus has been preserved through the languages coming down from the beginning of time, right? There are 89 stars in this constellation, and astronomers have said, this is a quote, astronomers testify they render Pegasus peculiarly remarkable. I don't know, having a hard time speaking today, I guess. The brightest star in the neck of the horse at the juncture of the wing. So imagine that, right here where the wing would fit, is named Markov, because which means returning from afar. Isn't that interesting? Markov, returning from afar. The star near the shoulder is named Shot, meaning who goeth and returneth. The star in the tip of the wing has an Arabic name, Al Ghanib, meaning who carries. And the star in the nostril is named Inif, in Arabic meaning the water, who carries the water, okay? The star near the leg is Matar, in Arabic meaning who causes to flow. You can't make this stuff up, guys. Come on. These names reveal to us that it is not a mere horse, but a winged horse, which to us is unknown in nature. We easily come to the conclusion that it has to be a person that this is talking about, right? It is he who is the branch, as the star of Enoch shows us, who said, if I go away, who said this? If I go away, I will come again, as the star Shot testifies, right? He who procured these blessings for the redeemed by his atonement is quickly coming to bring them, and is soon returning to pour them forth upon a groaning creation. What does Romans 8 say? That creation is groaning. This is the lesson of Pegasus. So we have to look at the heavens and understand that the Creator is he who created it all. So here's a poem for you to end this portion. Come, blessed Lord, bid every shore and answering island sing the praises of thy royal name, and own thee as their king. Lord, Lord, thy fair creation groans, the earth, the air, the sea, in union with all our hearts, and calls aloud for thee. Thine was the cross with all its fruits of grace and peace divine. Be thine the crown of glory now, the palm of victory thine. That was so beautiful. I had to add it in, although my tongue seems to be slurring today. Okay, so the next portion that I share is the Torah portions. And this week, Saturday, which is Shabbat. So on this Shabbat, the Torah portion to read is Bo. It means enter or come. Exodus 10, verse 1 through chapter 13 and verse 16. The Haftarah, which is Jeremiah 46, verse 13 through verse 28. And the renewed covenant, or the New Testament, is 1 Corinthians 11, starting with verse 20, going through 34. Next week's Torah portion will be Bashalach, when he let go. That's what it means, Bashalach. Exodus 13, starting with verse 17, going through chapter 17 and verse 16. The Haftarah, or the prophets, is Judges 4, starting with verse 4, going through chapter 5 and verse 31. The renewed covenant, which is John 6, verses 22 to 40. All right, which brings us to our next portion, which is the living Hebrew letters. So I need to share my screen. Give me a sec. Here we go. All right. And I believe we did Bet last week, so we're going to go with Gimel this week and talk about Gimel. Gimel is the third letter of the Hebraic alphabet, and it has a gematria of 3. Now, 3 is a significant number. Let's look here at the lower left. It's my lower left. If you can see my cursor, it's down here. It's the green, looks like a letter, L, right? And some people write it the other way as well. So this is what they call the paleo letters. And then the red is the more modern way of writing it. And then the one on the top is the proper way of writing it. So let's look at it. It means the foot. Gimel means the foot. It means camel. It means pride. It means never-ending supply. It also gives us the revelation of journey of dimensions. The bench of 3, which is Abba, Yahil, Ruach HaKodesh, which is the Father, the Son, and the Holy Spirit. It is a completion. It is government. It is the kneeling servant ready to upload heaven's supply. If you look at Exodus 18, 15 through 16, it is all under heaven into Mokam Echad, or gathered to him. Worship him, for he is Tov, he is holy. It is the offer of peace, the offer of salvation. Read Deuteronomy 20 and verse 10. In these sections, the people are gathered to him. It is about unity. It's about worship and honoring him. It is the benefit and inheritance to those that submit to him. The offer of peace is Deuteronomy 4, 5 through 8. Offer of peace to the nations. It is the voice. It is his voice, the only voice we should listen to. Deuteronomy 28 and verse 2. There are 3 feasts that we are to celebrate. It's all about him. The multitudes following him. All right, so that's all I have for you today. I will mention the Gimel is one of the letters that has a crown on top of it. All right, so I bless you. I'm going to stop sharing. I bless you and just ask that the Lord come greatly into your life and fill you with joy and abundance. And we just speak the blessings of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob over you. And we thank you. I thank you for joining me. I say us because He is with me. They are always with me. So, shalom. I bid you shalom and farewell until next time.